Welcome to episode 205 of Studio Talent Collective, the podcast. Thanks so much for joining us here. I'm your host, Josephine, and today we are talking about offboarding and how offboarding is the new onboarding. Now, if you don't know what customer offboarding is, I'm going to explain it to you, and it is so important because we want to ensure a smooth and positive transition of your customers as they exit. But why the heck do we care when customers exit? I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Stay tuned.
I'm Josephine Lancuba, and welcome to Studio Talent Collective, the podcast for dance and performing arts studio owners. Here we share industry insights, inspiring stories, and real talk to help you build a thriving studio and in-house talent agency. As a performing arts business coach and talent agent, I'm all about dreaming big and growing together as a community. You're in the right place. Let's leap in.
Welcome, friends. So today we're talking about offboarding and how offboarding is the new onboarding. That's right, orange is the new black, all the things. Having a little play on there. But look, if you don't know what customer offboarding is, I'm going to give you the Google description right now because I think it's really important that you get clear on what it is. I'm assuming that you know what onboarding is. You know, it's that process of formally having someone enter a relationship, a customer relationship with your business, and those processes that you have to onboard them. You know, could be a trial, an email sequence, through to invoicing, through to, sending them a thank you gift or a uniform piece or whatever. So you have a formal process when people join you that you're probably very familiar with when people enroll into your studio. But what about your offboarding? Because this is when people leave your studio. Now, the reason this actually came about, this whole conversation of offboarding, is because the other day I was in my book club. I have a book club with a group of entrepreneurial women from all different businesses and walks of life. I actually created this book club over a year ago, and we get together every single month and we have a book that we read. We just actually finished reading a book called The Third Door, and it was fantastic. But so we have a book every single month, and we started talking about offboarding and what that actually looks like and how we've had some negative experiences when leaving a service that we actually loved. So we've all had this experience. We realized that, it might have been because they were getting funny with the invoicing, or it might have been that they didn't, send the person that owns the business and, been there for a couple of years, spent a lot of money with them. Maybe they didn't send us an email or say, hey, thanks so much for being a part of what we do and, best wishes, or send us on our way. Like, there was just some sort of negative interaction at the end, or they ghosted us when we left. And then we're like, well, should we lower our expectations of business owners? And, should they be sending us a thank you email when we leave them and we're no longer a customer anymore, even if it's a positive exit? And we started talking about how it kind of left a sour taste in our mouth. So we went from loving these services and thinking they were the bee's knees, to then exiting, not because we didn't like it, but, we outgrew it, or it was time to move on, or it could have been an affordability issue for some people or whatever, but decided to move on. Nothing against the business or the service, just, goals were differently aligned at the time. And we were ghosted or treated badly or not treated like anything at all, which can be just equally, being ghosted can be equally as bad as being negatively treated. So we thought, how can we improve that in our own businesses? Because we know that when someone leaves, if you don't treat them with nurture and respect, then they can actually go on and be your worst enemy instead of your raving fan. Because just because someone leaves doesn't mean that they can't recommend you to someone else or come back to you in the future, or, even if they're not in your every week class, they might still, purchase your school holiday workshop or join your talent agency. Like, there's so many ways in which they can engage with you in the future. And just because they leave doesn't mean that they are public enemy number one. So we started talking about, okay, so we have onboarding processes when people join us in our business, but what does it look like when they leave us? So here is like I said, the Google description of what customer offboarding means. So customer offboarding is the process of formally ending a customer's relationship with a business, ensuring a smooth and positive transition as they exit. Notice it said positive transition as they exit. This includes handling account cancellations, transferring responsibilities, gathering feedback, and showing appreciation. Yeah? A well-managed offboarding process is crucial for maintaining a positive brand image and potentially leaving the door open for future collaborations. All right, so now that we've talked about that, I think it's important that we talk about how you can make offboarding the new onboarding, especially in a market where you're going to be getting more exits than ever due to the current climate. Now, we know that it's tough out there. It's tough out there. And we are seeing more than ever people struggling. People are struggling. And so it could be due to, inflation, it could be post-COVID trauma, it could be, the cost of living, it could be all sorts of things. And it's our job as business owners and leaders to provide a positive experience regardless. Now, obviously, if someone treats you like crap and you let them go, that's one thing. But most people don't leave in that manner. Most people will say, hey, my kids decided to do swimming lessons this term. Now, if you let them go in a way that isn't a positive experience or a nurturing experience, they may not come back or recommend you to their friends or just forget you. That's the other bit. They may just forget you. So when it's time to come back to dance classes again or, singing lessons or drama, they're going to say, well, which studio are we going to go to instead of it? It's a no-brainer. We're going to go there. Or, hey, where should I, a friend is asking, where should I go? It's a no-brainer. Go there because we had such an amazing experience. And after swimming season, we're going to go back. After netball, after soccer season, we're going to go back. And I think that's really important, really important. So some of the key aspects of customer offboarding are formal termination. So it's about officially ending the business relationship, whether it be, the end of a season, a customer choice, or any other reason. So formal termination. So you might do this in the way of, you have your standard template email potentially, but you may also do it in another way where you send a personal email and, you let them go, right? So it's a formal termination, but in a positive way. Thank you so much for being a part of our world. We're sorry to see you go. Wishing you all the best of luck. Our door is always open for you. If you want to come back, we're here for you, right? Whatever. Smooth transition is another key aspect. So offboarding, you really want to aim to minimize the disruption and ensure a positive experience for the customer during their departure. So, whether that be they need to return their competition t-shirt or whatever it is, you want to make sure that it's a smooth transition out. And there's no friction for them. There's a million forms to fill out and all the things. Make it easy. Make it easy. Remove the friction. Make it easy. You definitely want to maintain a positive impression. So even when a relationship ends with a customer, the goal is that you want to leave a lasting positive impression to preserve your company, your brand reputation, and potentially encourage future interactions so that they can come back. And they don't have to come back in the capacity that you once had them. That's the other thing. I always say, for example, with an in-house talent agency, if we're talking student retention, it's a great student retention tool, but retention can look different in different ways. Like if you have a service inside your business, like school holiday workshops or school holiday, programming and an agency, and your students aren't full-time in your studio doing the classes every week, but they go, you know what, we're going to book that workshop, or hey, let's go to that audition technique thing, or hey, let's go and join their agency, or hey, they've got this amazing photo shoot experience happening, let's go book that, whatever. You can actually continue that relationship in a different capacity, even if it's not in the same way it was before. So don't rule that out. That is still client retention. That is customer retention, even if it's in a different capacity. So be open to that. Another thing actually that we mentioned in our book club, which I thought was really cool, was we talked about, because I just said a smooth transition, like send an email, whatever, but it can also be a nice video message. Do you know that the power of a video message just via text, the power of a 30 to 60 second video message, personal from you, is actually so beautiful, and people remember. They remember that, and they remember the feeling like, oh, wow, they actually sent me a video. That's so nice. So instead of being bitter that someone moved on to another studio after 7 years of being with you, why don't you rise above that and show them that you are the better choice? It's not by saying, hey, come back to us, come back to us, come back to us. It's by showing them through action, through positive action. Literally hit record, send a video message to text. Yes, this is a manual process. You cannot replicate this with AI or automation. Personalize the message. It will take you 30 seconds. And literally all you have to say is, hi, Jennifer, we're so sorry to see you go. We're so sorry to see, Lucy leave us. But do you know what? Thank you so much for being a part of our community over the last 7 years. We wish you the best of luck. Our door is always open for you, and we hope to see you again in the future. Best wishes on your dance journey from me and all of our team. That took 30 seconds, hit send. I promise you, they will remember that. Now, if they have an experience at the other studio where they're like, not sure if this was the right decision, they will feel like they are welcome, that it's not awkward, that they can come back because you sent them that positive video message and it's personalized. Okay? Power of video, guys, very powerful. I've spoken to studio owners recently that have automated the heck out of everything in their business. And guess what? They're not actually growing. Yes, automation is fantastic, but do not remove personal touch in a community-based business. There is nothing that can replicate it. There is no one that can replicate you. There is nothing that can replicate personal touch. When you personalize a video with their name, it means that you actually hit record and you took the time to do it. You don't have to look fabulous with your perfect makeup face on. People do not care about that. They care about authenticity and nurture. So that's what I wanted to mention there. All right, another key aspect of customer offboarding is gathering feedback. This is an opportunity to get feedback from your departing students and customers. So this can be super valuable. So you can have like a 5-question survey, quick Google Doc or something easy for them to do. And this is really valuable for improving your services in the future. Okay. So potential for future business. So a well-executed offboarding process can make customers more likely to return in the future or recommend you to others. Okay, this is super important. This is about reserving your reputation. Okay, now if you have a bad offboarding experience, it can lead to negative reviews, word of mouth, and damaging your company reputation. I actually often think back on our offboarding process when I had my studio for over 10 years. I sold that just about 12 months ago. And we did do the email, sorry to see you go, and we did the exit survey, and we did all of that. We really did. But when I think about it, I reckon I could have done even better. I really do. I think it would have been nice, especially for those long-term customers that were with us for over a year. Some of them were with us for 5 years. I do think, maybe a personal touch from me, not just my assistant sending an exit email, would have been probably better. And so now in my coaching business, and obviously, I've got Studio Talent Collective, the talent agency, and we've got all of our studios that are aligned to our agency and under our agency umbrella. I do think, we don't get many exits, but when we do, I think that adding that personal touch is appropriate. And I'm going to actually be including an offboarding process from now on, because I actually do care and I do want people to succeed. Like, this is genuine. This isn't like a gimmick. Like, I do care. Like, I want people to do well regardless of why they've exited, and so I want that to be a lasting memory, not, they didn't even get in touch with me. It was like I was just another number on their books, like, it is important. So, you do want to preserve that reputation. It can also, this is another thing about, customer offboarding and why it's important. It can actually impact your customer loyalty. So even if someone is leaving, a positive offboarding experience can really foster loyalty and encourage them to, again, return in the future and to recommend you to friends, give you a good review. Like, you can't put a price on a good review. So things like that. You can even ask them if they're leaving and they've had a positive experience, would they mind giving you a testimonial? Like, don't be afraid to say someone has exited if they, like, for example, are a senior and outgrown your program. Or maybe they moved overseas or they moved interstate. Like, it's okay to continue to use those testimonials and those people as positive impact pieces, essentially. So, yeah, it definitely provides valuable insights. So if you get some feedback, like I talked about the survey, this is invaluable for identifying those areas that you can improve on and, again, really enhance that customer experience. Now, this is something that I found interesting when I searched this topic online, because I wanted to bring you all the goodies of this, because I think, like I said, offboarding is a new onboarding, friends. Get into it. It can create legacy clients. So a great offboarding experience can turn past customers into legacy clients who are more likely, again, to return into your future business. And again, we're open to that capacity being in a different way. So, they're not your weekly TAP student anymore, but they come back in a different way. And I think that is critical. All right, so I hope that was interesting. I hope that's given you something to think about. You definitely want an onboarding. So if you don't have an onboarding system, friends, that is structured and in a way that is a step-by-step process, then you want to definitely do that too. The reason I say that is because your onboarding is obviously very important. I'm assuming that a lot of you have good onboarding systems. Maybe you don't. This is a good wake-up call to review both your onboarding and your offboarding. How do people enter your world? How do they exit your world? And so this is how you create a strong brand, a great reputation, and a brand that, again, creates that legacy. I hope this has been helpful to you, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Hey, studio owners, before we wrap today's episode, I just want to remind you that Studio Talent Collective, the talent agency, is looking for studio owners right now to join us inside. This is your plug and play talent agency in-house inside of your studio business. Represent your students professionally on stage and on screen with ease and confidence with us. Want to learn more? Head to studiotalentcollective.com or book a free chat. Let's have a call. Link is in the show notes.
This episode is brought to you by Studio Talent Collective, helping you go from studio owner to talent manager with confidence. Ready to start your own in-house talent agency? Connect with me at josephinelancuba.com or via the links in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, and review. Thanks for listening and keep shining.